What drives up the price of luxury vehicles is scarcity, and Ferrari GTOs are definitely the rarest of the rare. It then adds up that they are regarded as the most valuable trophy in the car collecting world. The four most costly Ferraris ever auctioned and sold were all of the GTO model, and it's amazing how the littlest of details can lead to enormous shifts in value. Such details were what skyrocketed a Ferrari 250 GTO to the most expensive Ferrari ever auctioned. So beyond being a double-barreled concoction of assets, both as a race car and as an object of art, let's look at why the Ferrari 250 GTO was sold at an amount that might leave you gasping for air. With cars, it's either they're the epitome of captivating beauty and flawlessness in machine form, or a ridiculously overpriced instrument barely capable of moving from one destination to the other. But with classic cars, can there really be such a thing as overpriced? Particularly when it's a Ferrari. Ferrari cars are extremely popular for their unbelievable speed, luxurious appearance, and definitely their ostentatiousness, such that any list of top vehicles in the world will be remiss without a Ferrari. The price of the cars has increased steadily with their use and scarcity over the years, and as far back as 1994, a Ferrari 250 GTO fetched about $2.7 million in a sale. It's intriguing to think about because this car had an original retail price of just $18,500. One has to wonder if Enzo Ferrari, the founder of the Ferrari company, had even the tiniest inkling that his early racing machines would not only climb the list of hottest cars of all time, but that the value of each one would rival the GDP of a small country. Since its inception, the company doesn't ever manufacture cars for mass distribution, as it usually restricts production figures to a few thousand or hundreds. But its exclusivity was taken to an extreme level with the GTO. There were only 36 GTOs created between 1962 and 1964. Thus, they're an extremely desired rarity. With the fact that so few were created, it's almost impossible to get your hands on a truly original 1962 Ferrari 250 GTO. However, to those for whom money is no obstacle, chasing after luxury is a must. Thus, the GTO has pretty much become a target for many car-admiring billionaires who love the chase of the purchase just as much as the objects being purchased. Anyone who has one in their fleet probably would not ever want to let it go, and any person desiring to buy one needs a lot of serious excess spare cash. Among these extremely wealthy individuals on the planet, there's an elite car club called the GTO Club. This is a select club of uber-rich members that are ready to part with humongous amounts of money to get a hold of the trophy of all cars, the spectacular Ferrari 250 GTO. When going over some of the preceding sales of GTOs in the last 10 years, you can see what exactly it actually costs to become a member of this exquisite club. The passionate British DJ and TV presenter Chris Evans bought a 250 GTO at RM Auctions in 2010 for $17.7 million. In 2012, an anonymous purchaser picked up another from a real estate agent in the UK for $31.7 million. In that same year, Craig McCaw, an American telecom tycoon, bought one privately for $25 million to add to his already 400-plus car fleet. In 2013, another private sale saw a GTO change hands by the auctioneer Bonhams, who decided to put the hammer down on one of these desperately sought-after rides. The red 1963 Ferrari 250 GTO was sold for almost $52 million due to its pedigree, as it was raced by Joe Schlesser in 1960 before being sold once again in 2013. It was owned by Paul Pappalardo, who presumably restored it and raced it in quite a number of heritage race series. 3 years later, Gregor Fiskin, a former racing driver and classic car dealer, paid out $44 million to join the glamorous and esteemed GTO Club. Due to their superior scarcity and exclusivity, GTOs are so coveted that they rarely make it to the auction block. But when one finally did recently, it broke the record of the most valuable and expensive car ever sold at auction, with a jaw-dropping bid of $48.4 million. Regarded as the holy grail in collectible cars, the 1962 Ferrari 250 GTO was sold by former Microsoft executive Greg Whitten. We have absolutely no idea why one would want to part with such a treasure, but fanatics and seekers of the car were thrilled when it went up for sale at an auction organized at R.M. Sotheby's yearly collector car sale in Monterey, California. Within just 12 minutes of vivacious, enthusiastic, and animated bidding in a room absolutely buzzing with exhilaration and excitement, the car was snagged up. R.M. Sotheby's auction house described the vintage vehicle as, quote, the world's most important, significant, desirable, and legendary motor car. The classic automobile was actually expected to fetch anywhere between $45 million to $60 million at auction. So while the final offer of $48.4 million seems like quite a lot, it might have been a little bit disappointing and anticlimactic considering the figure that had been expected of the Ferrari. Regardless, the sale achieved a new world record for any vehicle ever sold at auction, with most cars never going past $40 million. It threw out the record set by another Ferrari 250 GTO Berlinetta that was bought for $38 million in 2014, and a 1957 Ferrari that sold for $35 million in Paris, France in 2016. Besides being a rarity in excellent condition, one of the most significant reasons why the car was so valued was its exquisite racing history. Everyone knows that the racing pedigree of a car alone can add millions of dollars beyond the car being prized based on its rarity. And pedigree was exactly what this expensively auctioned race car had. It won the 1962 Italian GT Championship and has more than 15 class and overall victories from 1962 to 1965. It certainly didn't hurt as well that it was driven by Phil Hill, the first American to be a Formula One world champion. From the second the 250 GTO hit the track, it instantly became an extremely powerful force to be reckoned with. All presumed expectations were exceeded by the vintage Ferrari's spectacular performances, and it soon became a valuable collectible overnight. Another important reason the GTO paid such a high price is because it is a pleasure to look at. With its Scaglietti-manufactured aerodynamic body casing, long swooping bonnet, gorgeously crafted cockpit, and shaved-off, majestically designed rear end, it is completely stunning. Ferrari created the 250s in an assortment of different colors. The $48.4 million auctioned car was sold in a bright red, which stands out from the rest. Of course, absolutely every single Ferrari 250 GTO that left the factory was handcrafted, which just adds to the appealing charm of this iconic vehicle. Undoubtedly, the performance of the vehicle matters a lot as well, and this GTO was clearly not lacking. Thanks to its racing focus, it was fitted with one of the best engines in the business. It is packed with a 3-liter Tipo 168-62 Colombo V12 engine that makes 296 bhp, giving it a high speed of 174 miles per hour and a 0 to 60 timing of 5.4 seconds. Basically, the vehicle has the strength to push drivers to the back of their seats, even when not going turbo. This engine had already been track proven and is actually the same one found in the 250 Testarossa. Ferrari took that already impressively powerful engine and recreated it into one of the most competitive prancing horse machines. To ensure weight is kept down to as little as 1,940 pounds, the main mode is made of aluminum, the dashboard is minimized, and there is no carpet or headlining. Unlike many new and modern Ferraris, those fortunate enough to possess a 250 GTO won't actually have a luxurious polished interior to enjoy. The GTO was designed and created for the track, so the inside is designed as that of a race car. There are no extravagant frills, but with its rich history and the additional prestige of owning one, the lack of a fancy interior doesn't stop its appeal. Experts have predicted that since the number of billionaires keeps increasing, and the number of Ferrari collectors is also on the move, these expensive rare 250 GTO cars, which are constant in number, will continue to increase in value. And judging from history, this old classic legacy car might just get to be sold for 6 figures within the next few years. Despite maintaining the title as the most expensive auctioned car for a long time, the Ferrari 250 GTO was overtaken by the Mercedes-Benz 300 SLR at a truly staggering record. If you want to know more about this vehicle, check out this next video.